to ask everybody to please rise for the singing of our national anthem by the Naturalization Ceremony Student Choir. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services within the Department of Homeland Security, I'd like to welcome you to this afternoon's Naturalization Ceremony. My name is John Thompson. I am the Director of the USCIS District, which encompasses the state of New Jersey. It is my honor to serve as your Master of Ceremonies this afternoon. With us today, we have the Newark Asylum Director, Susan Crawford, who will be administering the Oath of Allegiance, which, as our applicants for citizenship know, is the very last step of becoming a citizen. As part of this special ceremony, we're privileged to have Rabbi Eliezer Meir Teitz, Dean of the Jewish Educational Center, Rabbi, along with the Mayor of the City of Elizabeth, the Honorable Justin Bowich, and the entire naturalization branch of the Northfield office organizer responsible for today's ceremony. Of course, I would like to welcome the students and faculty of the Jewish Educational Center who will be witnessing today's ceremony. So, and in particular, we'd like to thank Gabriel Altaraz, who will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. We heard from Rahanan Kimmel and Atu Shalom, who will be giving a presentation of their student projects here, which I hope you have a chance to look at. Because some of them I had a chance before the ceremony, and there are some wonderful presentations up there. Okay, at this point in time, I'd like to invite the host of today's ceremony, the Rabbi Eliezer Meir Teitz, to provide opening.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. And I would remind you that it doesn't take too much courage to mention a woman's 29th birthday. But actually, I'd be careful. It is a great pleasure indeed to extend greetings to all who are here. I will not mention the notables since Mr. Thompson has already done that. The main reason is, of course, because our main dignitaries are you, the ones who are about to become citizens of this great country. And it's fitting that it take place here, where there is virtually no student who does not have a parent or grandparent or great-grandparent who 100 years ago today was not yet a citizen of the United States. But we are, of course, a nation of immigrants. It's a famous story told by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who was invited to talk to the daughters of the American Revolution, a rock-bound, immigrant-hating society. And he took a lot of flack for accepting it, because he himself, of course, was citizens back to the 1600s. When he got up, he addressed them. He started his remarks, fellow immigrants, because we are all, at one stage or another, either ourselves or the descendants of immigrants in the very recent past. Your presence here, this ceremony itself, demonstrates the strength and the glory of the United States. I know of no other country in the world where such a fuss will be made about citizens becoming citizens of the country. We are not made to be felt as though a favor is being bestowed upon you, but realizing that we are entering into what we hope will be a mutually beneficial relationship. That you will benefit, of course, from your citizenship in the United States, but that your presence here will add to our melting pot and add to the strength which makes the United States. So rather than having to delay the occasion any longer, I will say to all of you, congratulations, welcome to the club, and may you and we and the United States benefit from your inclusion among the citizens of this country.
Thank you, Rabbi, for those remarks, and again, thank you for hosting, allowing us to be here today to celebrate this wonderful part of American. Okay, next, I've learned from experience that our next speaker does not like to have a long introduction. When we opened up our application support center at 285 Broad Street, basically the mayor, J. Christie Bowledge, told us to keep it short, so I'm going to keep it short. Mayor Bowledge is a lifelong resident of Elizabeth. He's serving in his 6th term as the city's mayor. Besides leading the city of Elizabeth, Mayor is an adjunct president of the Public Administration Department at Kane University in Union, New Jersey, where he teaches undergraduate courses in public administration. Also a graduate of Kane University, Mayor Bowledge holds a graduate degree with honors in public administration. Please wear Mayor J. Christie.
Thank you very much, Mr. Thompson, Rabbi Tights, visiting dignitaries, President of Kane University, Dr. Dagwood Farahi. I like when he introduced me as an adjunct professor, adjunct president at Kane University. I don't know if you took exception to that. These are real. I actually studied under the president of Kane University when I was a student at Kane, and his knowledge not only of Kane University but his role as an immigrant in our community and his story is an extremely interesting story, and how he came here from Afghanistan and now is the president of one of the largest universities in our state. But I'll let him tell his story. And to all of the folks who are becoming citizens here today, and as Rabbi Tights said, we are all the sons and daughters of immigrants. My family goes back to the early 1800s in Elizabeth. My father's family immigrated from Germany, my mother's family in the mid-1800s from Ireland. And I often wonder as I go through the city of Elizabeth about the diversity of our community, where everybody came from. And I often ask people, what is your heritage? Where are you from? And the answers are always extremely interesting, because nobody ever says, I'm from Ecuador, or I'm from Haiti. They'll say where they are from. And for those of you that are here in New Jersey, you're going to learn that New Jersey is described by exits. So wherever you live, and wherever you get to tell folks how to get to your house, you're going to tell them you have to get off of an exit somewhere. whether it be on the Parkway, the Turnpike, Route 78, Route 80, there's an exit. And in our country, we were never the United States of America originally. We became the United States of America because 13 different organizations, or colonies as we were called back then, came together and tried to form a more perfect union. They tried to come together to form a way that all of the people of this country could do business together. And the 13 colonies of the 1700s were not a lot different than the United States of America today. There were northern interests and southern interests. There were agricultural interests. There were economic interests. There were manufacturing interests, as manufacturing just started with the cotton gin in the late 1800s. So clearly the United States of America didn't exist. We were a nation of immigrants in the 1700s. And oftentimes people speak about the great experiment of democracy that, as many of you know, started in ancient Greece and has continued to be refined every year. Well, this country has been a melting pot, and it is the only country in the entire world that you can walk around and probably find people from all different walks of life. It is here in the United States of America. The strength of our country is immigration. The strength of our country is diversity. The strength of our economic growth is welcoming new people. As the mayor, I welcome you.
Thank you, Mayor, for those very inspiring words. Well, you have come here today to pledge your allegiance to the United States of America. We have much in common, including that you're all here today by choice. Many of you had to master English as a second language. All of you had to master the history and form of government practiced by your country of choice. And that's quite an accomplishment. A Newsweek article last year revealed that of 1,000 U.S. citizens tested, a full one-third did not pass a civics test that you were able to pass from citizens. Congratulations. Although you have much in common, you also have much that's not in common. In fact, our applicants for citizenship today come from 16 different countries from around the world. Now, in a few moments, you're going to rise as one and become citizens of, quite frankly, the greatest country and civilization has ever seen. Now it's time for you to take this oath. At this point in time, I'm going to call out the countries of origin for our applicants of citizenship. When you hear your country of origin mentioned, would you please rise and remain standing until we have all applicants standing. Again, when you hear your country of origin called out, rise and stand and remain standing. Of course, it's okay to applaud for your country of origin. We start off with Argentina. Brazil. Ecuador. Egypt. Guyana. Haiti. India. Jamaica. Nigeria. Pakistan. Peru. Portugal. Spain. Suriname. Trinidad and Tobago. Vietnam. At this point in time, all applicants should be standing. I'd now like to invite silent. Director Susan Rocky to come up and join me in the podium. Director Rother, on behalf of the United States government, it's my pleasure to present 30 applicants for naturalization. Each applicant has been personally examined under oath by a designated officer. Each one has demonstrated an understanding of the English language, unless exempt, and a knowledge and understanding of the fundamentals of history and principles of form of government of the United States. Each one has been found to be a person of good moral character, attached to the principles of the Constitution of the United States, and well disposed to the good order and happiness of the United States. The investigations of the government have been completed in their cases, and each one has been found to meet all requirements of the law to be naturalized. Therefore, on behalf of the government of the United States, I respectfully recommend that you administer the oath of allegiance and that all applicants be admitted as citizens of the United States of America.
Applicants, please raise your right hand and repeat the oath after me. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by law. That I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by law. That I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by law. And that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God.
Gabriel Alcaraz to come up here and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Customary at naturalization ceremonies to invite a distinguished speaker to address the citizens of the ceremonies. Today we are particularly honored to have Dr. Dawood Farahi, President of Keene University, to perform that function as keynote speaker. Dr. Farahi is the president of Keene University and is also a naturalized U.S. citizen who immigrated to the United States as a college student. He earned a PhD from the University of Kansas where he was a Fulbright student, Fulbright scholar. The list of accomplishments of Dr. Farahi while president of Keene University is very impressive. And in fact, if we went on, we'd probably go on for a long time. So just a couple things to mention is his accomplishments includes the creation of the New Jersey Center for Science, Technology, and Mathematics, which provides full scholarships to students interested in these exciting and rewarding careers. Another landmark in Keene University's history was made when the university's first ever doctoral program began in 2008, the Doctor of Psychology, Professional Psychology, followed by a second doctoral program in 2009, the doctoral program in Educational Leadership. Please welcome the president of Keene University, Dr. Dawood Farahi.
Congratulations, fellow citizens. There are 16 different countries, right? Make it 17. Nobody there from Afghanistan, huh? But that's where I come from. Here's 2 suggestions for you, new citizens. The first thing you do tomorrow morning is go get a passport. Got it? Get a passport. Number 2, go sign up to vote. Then I could threaten the mayor of Elizabeth in case he does not do what I asked him to do. So number 1, get a passport. Number 2, register to vote. Don't forget, voting is something that many of us never had an opportunity to freely do. It is one of those things that outside your child is the most cherished thing you can do in a democracy. And then, once you become the citizen of the United States, which you are now you're entitled to argue with the President of the United States, argue with the mayor of Elizabeth, and tell him many times that you can do his job better. And you also have the right, effective now, that when you see a yellow light, instead of slowing down, you'll speed up. You also have the right that if you're a student at Keene University and you see yellow lines where you're not supposed to park, you look around, and if you see nobody, you park. And then when you get a ticket, you challenge the ticket and say, like all good Americans should, I didn't get the ticket, I noticed it. You can do that too. So isn't that fun to be an American? I could tell you a whole bunch of other things. This nation, I got a speech, but let me just put the speech and read up on the mayor of Elizabeth. Is that acceptable, Mr. Mayor? You started on me and appointed yourself as the adjunct president of Keene, a position I hold. It's like me saying I'm the deputy mayor of Elizabeth. As a matter of fact, the mayor of Elizabeth was a former student of mine. He was in my class. Now that I have seen him, I should have evaluated the grade he got. But he turned out to be pretty good. 6th-term mayor of the 4th largest city, German father, Irish mother, grew up on North Avenue. I actually live about 4 blocks from here on Princeton Road for the last 30-some odd years. I came to this country with less than $200 in my pocket. And I had this, some of you may know, this gigantic trunk that my mother gave me. 2 pair of shoes, because the assumption was there are no shoes in America. and all of the t-shirts that I owned, 3 of them, and a whole bunch of edible stuff that unfortunately the U.S. Customs Service took away from me. So I come out of JFK, Terminal 3, and I see a whole bunch of taxi cabs lined up in front of JFK. And I said to myself, America must be a great country. They already know I'm here. So I went to one of the cabbies, and he was actually from India, a Sikh with the turban. And I said, I want to go to the Village YMCA in Lower Manhattan. That's from JFK. And the guy gave me a smile the size of the state of Delaware. And I didn't know why he was so happy, because no sane human being takes a cab from JFK to Lower Manhattan. So I took the cab, and when I saw the Empire State Building for the 3rd time, from a different location, I realized what had happened to me. 67 bucks of the $200 I owned, the cabbie took. And I said to myself, this must be a great country. Someday I'm going to be a citizen. I came to this country with virtually no knowledge of English. The English that I had taken in high school, like most of you, was totally useless. The pronunciations were incorrect. The terms were incorrect. The comprehension was incorrect. I had to start all over again. Then I said to myself, since I am going to be an American, I'm going to compete with those who were born here, because in this country you can do that, and I'm going to outsmart them, outwork them, and outrun them. And I did. And today I have a parking spot, and the mayor of Elizabeth does not. Now, about a week ago, I came back from China. Kean University is building a campus in China, the only public university to do so. So the Chinese, the ones that I hadn't met, were looking at me and says, are you an American? I said, do you want to see the passport? He says, well, like a real American. I said, like, what kind? He had difficulty understanding that we Americans come from all over the world. And I checked this morning, Cracker Jack research office that I have. There's not a single nation on this planet that doesn't have a representative in America. Not a single nation on this planet that doesn't have a representative in America. And no other country you can say that. I said, yes, I am, and I am the president of that university, and whatever I say over there actually goes. He says, do the Americans actually listen to you? I said, yeah, because I'm one of them. And they were very polite. Their perception was an American should look like whatever. So now when we send students to China, we make sure that diversity of Kean University is represented in China. Now, listen to me for a minute. What country on this planet could you have the most powerful man on this planet be the son of an exchange student from Kenya, a working class mother from Kansas, born in Hawaii, 2 Air Force Ones today, and boy does he have bombs and airplanes and whatever he chooses. You know who that person is? President Obama. Name one nation on this country whose president would be someone like Obama. So welcome to the greatest nation on earth. That's another thing. You watch TV every now and then, right? All of a sudden somebody is talking about becoming a multi-millionaire and sometimes a billionaire for having invented something you never thought existed, and you can't understand a word of what he says. You have, right? The guy who invented Google. he became an American citizen only 11 years ago. The guy who is sending people to outer space is an immigrant from Australia. I can go on and on and on and on and tell you all of these things. The university that I work for has students from 72 different nations and 143 different cultures. And we're one of the 5 most diverse universities in America. Name one other country that has that. The other thing is, just imagine that the beauty of this diversity was not part of America. In 2005, I went to Israel and I went to Yad Vashem. And I want you to know that, and especially the middle school kids. And I saw hundreds upon hundreds of shoes. Some of you that come from cultures similar to mine understand the importance of shoes. Most of us would have one pair. We resold that pair. That shoe becomes part of us. I saw hundreds and hundreds of shoes that were never resold. The owner of those shoes never had an opportunity to resell. Someone in the 1930s and 1940s took their lives. And many of those people had an opportunity to come to America, but at the time we were so dense that we didn't do that. Kean University is now in possession of a whole bunch of letters that came in during that time to Robert Winthrop King, where the Jewish community asked, what is going on in Germany? Please, please. And they didn't believe it. And then you go to the Children's Museum in Yad Vashem, just outside it, and you see one single candle in memory of 1 million kids like you, that never had a chance to become a doctor, never had a chance to invent a cure for cancer, never had a chance to figure out how to form or create a new form of energy. In this country, you don't have to worry about that anymore. You don't have to worry about that anymore. That's why the privilege of being a citizen also requires 3 things. Number 1, you must vote. If you don't like the mayor of Elizabeth, vote for him anyway. But vote. Number 2, be proud of being an American from Afghanistan. Actually, that happened. I've said that story to the mayor before, and I'm going to say it to you one more time. And when in 2001, my native home country was invaded, so some guy says to me, says, you know we went to over there. Get your people. I said, I didn't know anybody declared war on Elizabeth, New Jersey. I'm from Elizabeth, New Jersey. I'm an American. But you were born there? Yep. Where were you born? Scotch Plains. I said, what about your father? He comes from Italy. I said, there you go. I rest my case. In America, you don't have to be born here to be a citizen. So, that's one thing. Item number 2, do the work. Complain about work, you can do that. That is as American as apple pie. Complain that you're working too hard, but you still have to do the work. And if you do the work, you can get your own parking spot. And number 3, be fair. Be fair. The freedoms that you get over here, the opportunity to be Jewish, all 6 different varieties. Where I live, there are 2 varieties next door to me. Muslim, 6 different varieties. Christian, 5. Buddhist, 5. No religion, that's okay too. In this nation, you could be who you are, worship who you want, and choose where you live. And that is the biggest gift in life, to be able to choose to become an American. You chose. Nobody forced you. You chose to become an American citizen. So welcome to my country and now to yours, and welcome to America. I'm glad you made the choice. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the words of wisdom and the great advice. However, if you do become a federal worker, a federal employee, I recommend that you don't ever argue with the President of the United States. Okay, now, speaking of the President of the United States, we'd now like to direct your attention to the screen for a message from the President, which will be followed by a video musical rendition of God Bless the USA by Lee Greenwood.
It's an honor and a privilege to call you a fellow citizen of the United States of America. This is now officially your country, your home to protect, to defend, and to serve through active and engaged citizenship. Together, we are a nation united not by any one culture or ethnicity or ideology, but by the principles of opportunity, equality, and liberty that are enshrined in our founding documents. Today marks a very special day in your life. You've traveled a long path to get here. You've sworn a solemn oath to this country and now have all the rights of citizenship. With the privilege of citizenship, though, come great responsibilities. And so I ask that you use your freedoms and your talents to contribute to the good of our nation and the world. Always remember that in America, no dream is impossible. Like the millions of immigrants who have come before you, you have the opportunity to enrich this country through your contributions to civic society, business, culture, and your community. You can help write the next great chapter in our American story. And together, we can keep the beacon that is America burning bright for all the world to see. I'm proud to welcome you as a new citizen of this country. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless the United States of America.
Sing along with my choir.
Thank my lucky stars to be near here. The flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I
good voices out there, that's for sure. And now I'd like to invite two of our student presenters, Rahanan Kimmel and Aitun Ohav Shalom, to come up and give their presentations.
Good afternoon, honored guests, dignitaries, community leaders, administration, rabbis, teachers, guests, parents, friends, classmates, and new citizens. Welcome to the Jewish Education Center and this exciting event. As part of the 8th grade social studies curriculum, we began the year by studying about and following the presidential election, continuing on by learning about how our economy works and then to what it means to be a citizen, including the rights and responsibilities of an American citizen. And finally, learning how people from other lands become citizens. We also all took the same citizenship test taken by our new citizens. In preparation for today's program, we participated in a wonderful project.
While we understand the process to become an American citizen, each 8th grade student interviewed someone who was born in another country and now lives in the United States, many of whom reside in New Jersey. We asked many questions of them, including the reason why he or she came to the United States, what family and friends remain in his or her country of origin, what he or she misses most from his or her country, what special things he or she brought with him or her, and most importantly, what it means to him or her to be living in the United States and being an American citizen. Each of these people's responses is displayed on the many trifolds you see around the room. Their country of origin is on the map to my right.
We also welcome these people and hope that everyone here will take the time to visit each display and meet the many people behind the interviews.
Congratulations to all the new American citizens. We welcome you with open arms.
Again, I invite everybody to review some of these projects that are very well prepared. And I think we're going to have to come here and try to recruit some of the people here to the immigration services officers. Okay, at this point in time, we now would like to present their certificates of naturalization to the officer. I'd like to invite the mayor, the president, the dean. Would you like to join us up here to?
When you hear your name, please come up for your certificates. Ayesha Asif. Negla Basali Ayub. Analia Bon Giovanni. Pablo Simone. Adobe Baruzzi. Charlene Dare. Anastaris de Souza. Kleina Etienne. Eustaquio Fernandez. Chao Hu Hun. Mon Treen Hun. George Ibrahim. Jagdai Idwari. Ramnares Idwaru. sing. Famicile Louisant. Luna Patrawala. Vladimiro Cabrera. Stephen Ramdeen. Hira Rashidi. Mohammed Rashidi. Mohammed Sufyan Rashidi. And Umair Masood Rashidi. Uzma Rashidi. Maria Fatima Silva. Sima Umair. Tai T. Van. Diana Vanderpool. Zoila Vega Ortega. German Villamar Lynch.
Okay, I'm told to say the students are dismissed. Thank you
Excuse me. Sure. Shama.
Have a great day.
Ripka, that's all right. I'm just going to take you.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Where's the parker?
You guys gotta be in a last single part.
Like, guys, go to the bathroom. Ripka?
Oh.
Right here. Come on, everybody, let's go.